This video is all about the top 5 tips that we have for video editing as a beginner. We did have a nice script presented to us by Nindy, who is our copywriter slash f***ing legend with a beard.
Head of content.
But it was wank. So we've decided to go a little bit off cuff with this one. Au natural.
Au naturel.
A fresco, if you will.
El fresco. Hola, me llamo Maya. Tengo 20 años. No, 25 años.
Okay. So we had some, because they were like boring sit-downs, we had some ambiance.
Don't get that on my face.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Tricks and Tips.
Hi, Jack.
Joey is a busy man, so
Busy man.
we've decided just to pop out a few more videos, because who else is going to make the content?
Well, we are.
Yeah,
There's also the point that we're quite good at it.
yeah, we are pretty good.
Everyone, you know, you want us here, right? Right?
I feel
Right?
like
Right?
that was aggressive.
Comment down below.
Tell us you love us!
On that note, make sure you hit the subscribe button and you hit the notification bell and give this video a thumbs up, even though you haven't watched it yet, but you know you're gonna like it.
So these are my top 5 tips for editing. Rather than going for the simplest editor you can find one which is going to have a bit of longevity. So iMovie, for example, yeah, it might be good to solve a few problems now, but if you're going to invest your time and skills in video production or editing, pick up one that is going to serve you long term. So for me, DaVinci, because it is pretty intuitive. They've got a free version as well you can upgrade, but it's just going to set you up long term for editing. So rather than having to keep learning and progressing on new software, pick one that you're going to edit long term and go from there.
So just to like add, because I would say a bit different, just depending on your situation. So if you know you want to go into, I don't know, being a videographer or filmmaker, I definitely would suggest that and thinking long term. But if you are doing it on the side and this is just a little side hustle and you're maybe just making some videos for YouTube and you know you're not really expecting much yet and you're going to slowly grow it, I would probably suggest starting with a smaller free one and working your way up. I started using iMovie because I was at uni and had a job and I was just making videos at the weekend and I needed something that was really quick and easy and I didn't want to spend time learning. And through using iMovie, it meant it was easier for me to then move over to Adobe Premiere Pro because I had an idea of what things were and where they were, and it was less overwhelming starting with Premiere Pro because it was kind of like, what is all this stuff?
Yeah, I guess most editors will be pretty similar in the fact that there's a timeline of being a project and a viewer. But for me, being a professional in this industry, my tip would have been learn on something that you're going to use long term.
I think situational though. If you're looking to do something on the side, then
Yeah,
it's okay to start off.
if
Yeah,
it's
ease
easy,
over
quickly.
anything.
Okay, so my second top tip for video editing is if you're a beginner, don't focus purely on the video editor. Get to know sound, understand how to manipulate sound, gain, keyframing sound, and just better understand how sound works with video. Make sure you invest a lot more time in learning how to edit sound within your software application.
Learning about sound is definitely important, and understanding, because especially when you move up to different editing software, because you can then with Premiere you can take the sound out to Audition and edit it, so understanding that is definitely a great tip.
When we say video editor, people will assume that you're only there to edit video, but sound is such a huge part, so number 2, sound.
Okay, so tip number 3, I'm gonna add in this one, because Tom doesn't actually edit his own videos anymore. When you edit, do you have a system of how you edit? Like I have a system of what I do first, like save time.
Yeah, I use Tom.
Hey Tom. Tip number 3 I would say would be to have a system when editing. I know when I started off, you were really tempted to just go in and edit like the fun bits and to edit the bits and start adding in sound and start adding in music and start adding things on top, and that's really tempting, but you want to get the foundation of the video done first. So I have a system. I will put all my footage in, I'll sync all my sound, and then I will chop the whole thing, so every bit of footage, so it's all cut perfectly. Then I'll go through and watch it all. Then if I need to make any tweaks, then that means that when I then add the music in, I'm not going back and realizing actually I don't want that bit in there, and then it messes up your music and it just messes up your whole video. So have a system, do it all in order. Music is normally the last thing I add in. So I normally cut it, then I add some animations in, I add some sounds in, stuff like that, and then music, and then boom.
Yeah. Obviously, optimizing your workflow and speeding up your process is going to be massively beneficial for time. Add to that, maybe learn some keyboard shortcuts.
Yeah.
Because that will massively save you time. JKL, spacebar, blade, slip slide, twist and turn. I made them up. Optimize your workflow. On the other hand, I work a bit backwards. So when I'm putting footage together, I do a rough grade.
Right.
Because it helps me get a feel for how stuff looks. Like if I'm shooting raw and it's flat, I want to have a nice grade on it.
Yeah.
I don't know why, for me, that's what helps me focus on the edit and getting the story. But yeah, have a dialogue, get that story across, make sure your messaging is spot on, and then add to it.
Yeah, exactly. Having the story is like key, like you said, like having that and having that first, because then you can add the stuff and then you know what more you need to add to it.
Yeah.
So like you said, streamlining your work.
You're welcome. Very, very welcome. Tip number 4 is about B-roll. Not necessarily about editing, but making sure you're capturing enough B-roll before you go to the edit is imperative?
Yeah.
Imperative.
Yeah, you can say that.
It's imperative. Make sure you get enough B-roll on the day, because otherwise you're going to be f***ing around with your edit trying to cover up mistakes and add stuff in that maybe isn't quite relevant. Stock footage is a good idea, but in terms of utilizing B-roll in your edit, we've just discovered that having breakpoints in your videos are very important. So every 30 seconds, you should have some B-roll in, whether that's me spinning around in a chair, close-up, sexy shots. Or whether it's an animation or a change of scene or some text. Make sure you're utilizing your B-roll smartly. Smartly?
No.
Smartly. Make sure you're smart when utilizing your B-roll.
There you go.
It will keep your viewers much more engaged and also make it relevant. You don't want to chuck in some shots of Ted over here if it's Maya talking about rice.
Yeah, exactly. It's a great way to make things funny. It's a great way to keep the screen engaging, because you want the screen to, what people are watching, to be engaging, and just watching people sit and talk for ages, no matter how engaging and amazing they are, can be boring. So keep that screen entertaining.
Another good one to elaborate on that is Tom does this a lot. He punches in. So if you're shooting on a decent camera and you can punch in a bit, that adds an element of fake B-roll. Tom, punching on me now. Maybe punching on Maya now. That's just cropping in on your image, but it's a good way to kind of keep your videos engaging with some B-roll-esque stuff.
Yeah, we've just got one more. So we said tell a story. We could say watch, watch, watch and break. I could say this one.
Don't get snowblind, yeah.
The snow behind me.
You don't know what snowblind?
Oh, sorry, I thought you said the snow behind me. I was like, what, the snow?
The snow behind.
What does that mean?
So snow blindness is when you're in like the Arctic and everything's white, and so you can't see anything, so you become snowblind.
And our 5th and final tip is to watch, and then have a break. So I actually do this. So when I edit, if it's like a long video and I'm editing across a few days and I know I'm gonna finish at the end of a certain day, even if I'm finished that day, if it's at the end of the day, I'll save it and I won't watch it the next day. Because when you watch something so much, it's really important to have that break, because then you will notice the mistakes that you didn't notice the first time. So it's great to watch it loads, because then you'll pick up new things each time. And I will watch the whole video throughout loads of times, so I make sure the story is coherent and it's all making sense, and certain scenes will look good and look funny, and if there's bits I'm missing, blah, blah, blah. But before I then share it with my colleagues and it goes up, I will wait a bit, have a break and watch it, because then I will spot new things that I wasn't necessarily noticing before.
Yeah, I guess to elaborate a little bit is make sure you're not becoming like snowblind. I just explained to you what being snowblind is. So Tom, Stick up a definition here. Also, make sure you get a second pair of eyes on it. So we have a pretty in-depth review process, but before, so Tom or Adam will be editing this video, they'll get to a certain point and then I'll have my input and then they will make any amends, change that and put it through the next stage of review. But it's always important to get a second pair of eyes on it because you might miss something someone else will pick up on, or you might not put something in there as relevant or it might not make sense, but someone else will pick up on that.
Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't have to be work people. If you're doing this yourself, get your partner, your friend,
Your mum,
your dad.
Your mum.
Your mum, your dad. Not your, I was going to say your dog, but they might not be
I
able
was
to
just
give the
about
best
to say your dog.
feedback. Are we the same person?
Oh, wow. Do you reckon there's like a videos tip we can
Top
offer?
tip, sneaky tip.
Videos tip. That was well aggressive, wasn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
So bonus tip, I would say double check your export. If you're rendering it out and you think it's all good, you upload it, there's a mistake, it's going to be extra work for you. So always double check that your export, no matter how long it is, if it's an hour podcast, is on point and correct. Save you a lot of work in the long run.
Yeah, so I always watch it back on Premiere and then I export it and I watch it again, even though it's tedious because I've just watched that 15-minute video before. If I watch it on Premiere, then I can make any quick changes that I need to there, and then I know it's right, and then I export it and watch it again, because I swear Premiere has a ghost sometimes. And there has been times where I've had like an image and it has changed it to something else.
Because
When I've exported
Adobe.
it. Yeah, it's changed it. And if I didn't watch it again before uploading it, then I would never have known that. And it was in a really bad time. So you remember that vlog, Tom or Adam can add this in, where I lost footage. So I put screenshots of me and I made like a combination of, and it was one where I was just like, it added in. So thank God I noticed that, because that would have been embarrassing. Not like I don't embarrass myself all the time in those kinds of videos.
The last thing you want to do is, if you're editing content for someone else, like a client, is to send them a version that isn't the right one or has mistakes in, because it won't look professional. Not that we ever make mistakes.
No.
Anyway.
Thank you for watching. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. It lets us know that you're enjoying our content, and leave a comment down below of any requests, any questions you have, and we will make sure to answer them.
Subscribe, hit that bell icon, and we will see you in the next one.
Peace.
Peace.